In today's video, I have the largest unhaul that I have ever done on my channel. I grabbed both books that I have read before, but no longer felt like I needed them on my shelf because they weren't favorites. And then I have a large stack as well of books that I have not read yet that I just don't see myself reading anytime within the next year. So I pulled out a ton of books from my shelf. I was really strict with myself. I already feel a lot better about how my shelves are looking. I will go ahead and do like a pan over and show you guys a little bit up close how my shelves are looking now. Here is a quick pan over of what my shelves are looking like now that I've gone through and pulled a lot of the books that I no longer want off of them. As I was reorganizing my shelves, I did try to go for a little bit of a rainbow order here. It's not exactly in rainbow order, but I did just try to group similar colors together. So we have a lot of the greens, pinks, reds, and I do feel a lot happier looking at my shelves now. I really do feel like it brings me a lot more joy when I look at them versus before. I just was it wasn't inspiring me anymore or making me want to pick up books from my shelves. So I'm really happy that I was able to do this little reorganization and that I'm feeling a lot more refreshed and excited again looking at my bookshelves. Let's go ahead and get right into this unhaul. The first one here is R.L. Stine's Blind Date. I would love to keep it because I love the cover and I am collecting all of R.L. Stine's Goosebumps books. So this book does look really pretty on my shelf, but I don't want to hang on to it just because I like the cover. Grady Hendrix' How to Sell a Haunted House. And this is actually a signed copy. I read this book last year and I did not love this book, okay? I was really fairly disappointed with it because my vision for my bookshelves is to really only have books that are some of my absolute favorites. This one really just does not make the cut. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. I did end up finding this book at a little free library as well, and I did really like this thriller. I ended up rating this book 4 stars. The only reason that I don't really want to hang on to it anymore is because I'm already finding myself forgetting a lot of this. The next book that I am deciding to unhaul is Leigh Bardugo's Hellbent. This one was kind of a hard choice because I am hanging on to my copy of Ninth House because I really loved Ninth House and I was so excited for Hellbent to come out. I ended up pre-ordering it. I ended up reading it the day that I got my hands on it. I was so incredibly let down by this and I don't want to hang on to it just because it's a part of a series, because for me, I do not see myself continuing nor finishing the series. The Need by Helen Phillips. I read this book quite a while ago and I liked it, but it's one of those books that I don't know if I like it or I don't know if I hate it, because there's parts of it that I was really into, but then there's parts of it that just disgusted me. It has to do with doppelgangers. I found that aspect so triggering. It like makes me feel cringy and like icky thinking about it. So I'm just gonna get rid of that one. The next one I will be unhauling is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And once again, this is another book that I annotated. I did myself notes every 50 pages with these postcards and I would write like a summary and my thoughts. The reason I am unhauling this is because I didn't love this book. I was really honestly let down by it. I was expecting a lot more and I found it to be really overwritten. I did not enjoy Donna Tartt's style of writing. I like for a book to get to the point, and this is a long, drawn out, just time that I'm not here for. The next book I am unhauling is Dracula by Bram Stoker. The reason I am unhauling this copy is because I do have another copy on my shelf. The other copy I have is the Penguin Classics Deluxe edition of Dracula, which is stunning. I actually, as far as classics go, I do try to collect the Penguin Classics Deluxe editions because they are my favorite. I think that the majority of them are really stunning and beautiful. This copy is really pretty as well. This is the Barnes & Noble's Classics edition, but I don't need 2 copies of Dracula. There's absolutely no reason why I need to hang on to 2 copies. I will keep the one in the Penguin Classics Deluxe and I will get rid of the Barnes & Noble. So that's going to be unhauled. The next book I'm unhauling is When We Lost Our Heads by Heather O'Neill. I recently read this book earlier this year. I think I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. So it was very middle of the road to me. I love this cover, but the story itself is not something that I feel that I would ever reread again. It was, again, kind of similar to The Secret History. It was too long to me, but at the same time, the ending was so rushed. It's not one that I want to hang on to. It's not one that I'll ever reread. The next book is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Now, I absolutely loved this book when I read it, but I read it 4 years ago now. I don't want to keep that one, so I'm getting rid of it. The next one is We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz, another one that I read this year, and I liked this one as well. I think I either rated it a 3 or a 4. This is one of those thrillers that deals with like the toxic friendship trope, which is something that really interests me. I love books that focus on female friendship particularly, and this book focuses on that. So I did decide to keep it right after I had read it, but the longer and longer that it sits on my shelf and I think about it, the more I know that I will never reread this thriller, so it's one I'm going to be unhauling. The next one I will be unhauling is After the Flood by Cassandra Montag. Okay, I also really enjoyed this one. I think I rated it a 4-star. I love reading apocalyptic setting books, and I wish that there was more. I feel like there's not a lot of them. Maybe we had like a huge rush of them back in the dystopian days. Maybe we're kind of burnt out of them, but I really like reading books where the world has like drastically changed, and that's what this book is. There's water just everywhere, and you pretty much have to get everywhere by boat. There's some land, but it's very dangerous on the land because people have like taken it over. I really did like this one a lot. The only reason I am deciding to give it away is because I don't see myself ever rereading it, and when I look at it on my shelf, when I look at the spine, I don't really feel like a lot of affection towards it or like a connection with it, and that is something that I'm really looking for when I look at my bookshelves. Like I said to you guys, as I've been looking at my shelves this past week, I've been feeling so like stagnant. I've been feeling unhappy, like I want to just get rid of everything and start over. And going through my shelf and pulling off these books from my shelf that I don't really feel a connection to anymore, and just keeping the ones that I look at and I do feel like pulled towards or some type of like happiness when I look at them, that has really helped refresh my shelves for me, give them a new life, make them feel like mine again and like a positive space. The Missing Years by Lexi Elliott. This is honestly being unhauled for the same exact reason as After the Flood. This book actually got me out of a 2-year-long reading slump. So I think that that is a really cool point, and probably why I have hung on to this for so long. It is a thriller, and I love thrillers, yes, but I don't really see myself rereading this one. Sometimes with thrillers, it's like once you know how it's gonna end, you don't always find the need to reread it. And I don't always find that to be true. Like I have other thrillers on my shelf that I know the twist, and I could still see myself rereading it because there was other things about it that I loved so much and connected to, like for instance, the writing. And I don't think that this book, while I enjoyed the story, I don't think that the writing was strong enough to keep me coming back for more, you know? So I felt like I got enough from that first read, and I don't ever need to reread it again. The next book that I am going to be unhauling is Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. What makes me keep wanting to hang on to it is because of the cover, but I cannot keep doing that. I cannot keep hanging on to books because I like the cover. It's just not a good way to have a bookshelf, because that's just about aesthetic, it's just about the way things look, and it's not about the actual value inside. When I read the synopsis of this, I'm not really super pulled towards it. There's other books that I would pick up first, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. The next book I am unhauling is Temper by Lane Fargo. I just don't need it anymore. If it's been on my shelf for like 2 years, I'm really not that interested in reading it. I've downloaded the audiobook multiple times from my library and still haven't read that, so that tells me get rid of it. The next book is The Devil in the Dark Water by 𝚲𝚃. I attempted to read it over the course of a week. I kept trying to read this book. I had the audiobook, and it was just so boring to me. Okay, it was very heavy and dense, and for that reason it was coming off as boring. The next one I'm unhauling is the Book of Gothel by 𝚲𝚃𝙷𝚃. This is one that I have had for almost 3 years on my shelf unread. It is a book that I could see myself liking if I ever did decide to read it, but it's had 3 years of a chance to pick it up. And because I'm in a reading slump right now, there's even less chance of me picking this up over any of the other unread books on my shelf. So I'm just gonna be unhauling that book. The next book I am unhauling is The White Road by Sarah Lotz. And let me just get right into the next one too, because they're the same. The next book I'm unhauling is These Silent Woods by 𝚲𝚃𝙃𝙃. I'm very interested in this one. I am interested in this one. Should I hang on to it? I'm definitely gonna unhaul this, okay? Because I know that I can get this at my library. I can get the audio at my library of this. So I'm gonna unhaul that one. And the reason why I'm tempted to keep it is because I know I've read that the book opens up with a cave scene. Like, these people are trapped in a cave, and I love books about caves. It's one of those weird things that interests me a lot for some random reason. I'll hang on to this one for a little bit longer. That is all the books that I am unhauling and removing from my shelves. Like I said, I already feel so much better looking at my bookshelves. I feel a lot more lighter and just refreshed overall. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have not already, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're reading some amazing books. But other than that, I will see you in my next video.